What's up, guys? Poker Rush and TCG here, and I want to talk about my favorite decks of post-rotation. Now, post-rotation looks interesting because there are a ton of decks that are doing fairly well. If we look at the winning decks, we see Alakazam, we see some Terrabox, we see Lucario, we see Grimmsnarl, we see a Garchomp in here, we see a bunch of Dragapult, obviously looking to be the best deck in format, but there are a lot of options. We have a couple Crustle in here. We have a Kangbox, Terrabox, and we even had a Starmie slip in and Zoroark. But everyone has to play one or two main decks. And the main decks that I'm really looking to play and enjoy this format are going to be Garchomp and probably Terrabox. Now, I really like Teal Mask Ogerpon as a card. Honestly, I really like all of the Ogerpons as cards. I think they are really well designed. At least the prismatic SIRs of them. And I think they're just really fun to play. I think Crispin is a great supporter. Cyrano is actually a card that I started collecting just because I like the full art. So yeah, I really want to be able to use it in a deck, just because it's a supporter that I really enjoy. So let's get into a few deck lists. All right, we can't sort by placement. That's okay. So we have a bunch here. Now, obviously, it's not the most winning deck in the world. Dragapult is, and there are other decks that just seem to be better, and that's okay. But it's a deck that I love. I think the SIR Cynthia's Garchomp is one of the most beautiful SIRs in existence, and I just think the deck's really fun. It can be either aggro or control, or it can just kind of do a mix of both. So here we have a third place deck list, and I think a lot of these lists are pretty similar. So obviously the Pokemon lineup is pretty standard. I kind of like running a Bidoof in the deck, just to stun your opponent, because then when they knock it out, you can unfair stamp them. Now, one thing I'm noticing about this specific list is it isn't running any petrol, and it's not running any stadiums either. I like the idea of running maybe like battle cages to stop the Frostlasses that can knock out these, as well as the Munkadoris that are running rampant in the format. So I think that would be an option. Maybe you wouldn't have to run Pokegear if you didn't want to. Or you could possibly cut out a Hilda or a Boss's Orders. Maybe one of both if you wanted to play a couple stadiums. But I mean, this list does look pretty solid. I really like this supporter because you go down in the prize trade a little bit, and then you just get 2 fighting energy back, and you just knock something out real quick. This seems to be the quote-unquote best version of the deck. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about 4 Boss's Orders. I feel like you're gonna draw into it a lot, and you won't necessarily need it. I do really like that this variant runs Petrol, just because it can grab your Unfair Stamp, and it can grab your Watchtower, and it can grab your Cynthia's Power Weight. It can really grab you anything that you need at the specific time to get your stuff going and get your knockouts. Yeah, it just seems really solid. Plays list. Yeah, okay, yeah, there's the battle cages I was talking about, but only 7 energy. I don't know how I feel about only 7 energy. Maybe cutting a petrol, 3 boss is fine. Maybe cutting a fighting gong as well. I don't think you need 4 of them. I really like the Tool Scrapper attack. Tool Scrapper seems like it may be a really good card for the next format, especially here in the US, where we'll be playing best of 3 rather than best of 1. And you kind of want to set yourself up to win multiple games rather than the just single game. Let's go ahead and look at Terra Box. Here's more of what we're looking for with the Terra Box. Okay, so it runs triple Kang for drawing, as well as giving you the ability to attack for 200 plus. Teal Mask is obviously another draw engine. Meowth to search out your supporters, like your Cypher Maniac, or your Crispin, or a boss's orders at the end of the game to just knock something out. Plus, I guess you could technically Crispin energy onto it and then E-switch from in a Teal Mask to get it out of play and use it again on your next turn. I really like the double Clefairy, with Lucario being a fairly solid deck, and then Dragapult being the best deck so far. Getting that double damage is really, really good and pretty necessary in order to win. Munkidori is pretty standard for moving damage around and healing up stuff. Really gets you what you need. So we have the 1 Blood Moon Ursaluna EX. That makes sense, because that's 5 prizes right here. Teal Mask plus Mega Kang, or Mega Kang plus Clefairy, or Teal Mask and Clefairy and a Munkidori, or even if they just knock out those 2, you can just attach an energy manually and do some work. I like the Mist Energy for the Alakazams. Alakazam is a really solid deck this format. And I think that having the way to stop it is going to be very helpful. Let's look at another list. This is more of a pure version of the deck, where you're running these as your main attackers, rather than maybe this as your main attacker. And it looks pretty similar, honestly. You only play 2 of this. Now, I really like Iron Leaves as a card. I didn't even realize it was H regulation until I saw it being played in Japan. It does seem like a very, very good deck. Obviously you don't want to prize a Latias and lose out on your ability to retreat Mega Kang. So you played 2. I'm not really sure how great Briar would be, because, like, if your opponent is bossing up a Mega Kang when they're playing Lucario or Garchomp, and they one-shot this, you have to basically rely on a Psyduck getting knocked out in order to Briar. So if they really target the Mega Kang, your Briar's kind of pretty dead. So I would maybe run something different over that. Maybe a 3rd boss. And just kind of not try to cheese your opponent and try to just beat them by outplaying and bringing stuff up. But yeah, these are the 2 decks that I think are what I'm going to play for the format. But tell me, what do you think you're going to play for the format? And I will see you next time.